On November 5th, the Virtual Telescope Project released 2 new images of the interstellar object 3I Atlas, and what they revealed has left the scientific community even more baffled. The images show Atlas as a compact source of light with no obvious coma or tail, and surprisingly, its appearance has barely changed since Hubble's observations in July 2025. For an object expected to lose at least 13% of its more than 5 billion ton mass, the absence of a massive glow is inexplicable. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb compared this to Comet Lemon, a typical solar system comet, which exhibits a bright, transparent tail as solar radiation pushes gas and dust into space. Atlas, however, remains mysteriously clean, showing none of the visual signs that should accompany the extreme outgassing needed to explain its anti-gravity acceleration. On October 29th, as Atlas approached perihelion, it unexpectedly accelerated beyond all normal gravitational laws. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory reported that its observed position deviated from its predicted orbit by 4 arcseconds, a tiny angle, but at 203 million kilometers from the Sun, this translates to a massive displacement. The object is accelerating at 0.2 meter per second squared, equivalent to being pushed more than 80 kilometers out of orbit in a single month, and the motion occurs in 2 directions. An outward push away from the Sun at roughly 135 km per day, and a sideways drift at about 60 km per day. In other words, Atlas is moving in 2 directions at once, raising profound questions about what is driving it. NASA has confirmed it poses no threat to Earth, though its orbit could bring it near Jupiter in March 2026, which astronomers are monitoring closely. While comets normally accelerate through outgassing, steam jets created when surface ice sublimates, the volume required to account for Atlas's acceleration is astronomically high, far beyond anything a normal comet could produce. Harvard astronomer Loeb calculated that, given Atlas's mass of at least 33 billion tons and its estimated core diameter of nearly 6 kilometers, the object would need to shed more than 5 billion tons of material in a month to generate the observed thrust, which should have formed a huge, extremely bright cloud visible to telescopes. Yet none has been detected. Unlike previous interstellar objects like Oumuamua or Borisov, Atlas displays unprecedented behaviors, extreme acceleration, 2-directional drift, and a brightness increase far beyond normal comets, while also appearing blue in color despite its cold surface, further defying natural expectations. These anomalies suggest that Atlas is unlike any natural object studied so far and force scientists to seriously consider whether unknown natural forces, or even artificial factors, could be influencing its motion, challenging fundamental assumptions about physics and interstellar phenomena. Given Atlas's mass and observed acceleration, calculations lead to a remarkable conclusion. To generate thrust naturally through outgassing, the object would need to shed at least 1/6 of its mass in just 1 month around perihelion, equivalent to over 5 billion tons of gas. Such an expulsion would create an enormous, extremely bright cloud, impossible to miss with modern telescopes. From late November 2025 through late January, dozens of ground-based observatories, alongside the Hubble and James Webb Space Telescopes, are scheduled to monitor Atlas, which will make its closest approach to Earth on December 19th at 167 million miles. If the predicted gas cloud appears, the natural explanation for its acceleration will be confirmed. If not, debate will intensify, leaving room for alternative explanations, including the possibility of technological influence. Precedents exist. Oumuamua, the first interstellar object, also exhibited unexplained acceleration without any detectable outgassing, leading researchers to label it a dark comet, a paradox. Since cometary activity is defined by outgassing, Atlas is even stranger, displaying additional anomalous behaviors. Its brightness increased to magnitude 7 as it neared the Sun, far exceeding the typical 2 to 3 range for comets, while its color appeared blue, unusually bright compared to the Sun, despite its surface being roughly 20 times colder, defying expectations that cold objects glow red. Some natural explanations, like emission from ionized gases such as carbon dioxide, remain possible. But the key takeaway is methodological. When data defies theory, it cannot be ignored. Dr. Avi Loeb emphasizes that dismissing unexplained observations is bad science. If the gas cloud fails to appear, questions about Atlas's acceleration will invite more daring hypotheses. Atlas is now considered one of the most inexplicable celestial objects ever observed, not only for its anomalies, but also for the profound challenge it poses to fundamental physics. Unlike any previously recorded object, Atlas exhibits a series of seemingly irrational phenomena that have scientists questioning its origin. The first anomaly, known as the impossible path, refers to its orbit tilted merely 5 degrees relative to the ecliptic plane, the plane in which all planets orbit the Sun. For an interstellar object, a near-perfect alignment with this plane is virtually impossible by chance, akin to hitting a tiny target in total darkness. Astronomers suggest that such precise alignment could imply deliberate navigation or influence by oriented artificial forces, rather than a purely gravitational trajectory. The second anomaly, termed the physics-defying jet, further deepens the mystery. In July and August 2025, Atlas produced a jet of material that intriguingly shot straight toward the Sun, completely defying the behavior of all known comets, which always form tails pointing away from the Sun due to solar radiation pressure. This phenomenon violates basic physics, resembling someone running with their hair flying forward instead of backward. The third anomaly concerns its size and speed. Atlas is roughly 1,000,000 times more massive than Oumuamua and 1,000 times more massive than Borisov, yet it still moves faster than smaller objects, breaking the astrophysical expectation that larger bodies move more slowly under the gravity of their parent star system. While normal comets generate tails pushed away by solar wind and radiation, Atlas's backspin is unprecedented, prompting some plasma physicists to speculate about an artificial magnetic field or plasma-driven propulsion system akin to ion engines tested only on a small scale by humans. The fourth anomaly is perfect timing. Massive celestial objects normally decelerate due to stellar gravity, yet Atlas achieves unusually high speeds while passing by Mars, Venus, and Jupiter, carefully avoiding Earth at perihelion, when it would have been at its brightest and easiest to observe, a coincidence rarer than winning the lottery, raising suspicions of intentional navigation. The fifth anomaly suggests a calculated trajectory. Atlas seems to follow a predetermined path, as if functioning like a probe gathering data on planetary gravitational or electromagnetic fields while avoiding direct Earth contact. Spectroscopic analysis adds to the intrigue, revealing an unusually high nickel-to-iron ratio, characteristic of man-made alloys rather than the random metal composition typical of natural comets. This finely tuned metallic structure hints at purposeful manufacture. The sixth anomaly concerns its extreme dryness and high-temperature alloy properties reminiscent of materials such as Inconel or pneumatic alloys used in jet engines and spacecraft, leading researchers to propose that Atlas's components might have been processed or refined artificially, or even remnants of a destroyed technological construct, such as the outer shell of an ancient spacecraft. The WOW signal, discovered in 1977, and Atlas both originated from nearly the same cosmic coordinates, making the idea of a connection between them tantalizing. The probability of such a precise alignment is extremely low, yet it is too exact to ignore. Detailed analysis of Atlas's light shows polarization patterns resembling reflections from metal surfaces or flat structures with defined angles, unlike the rough textures of natural celestial bodies. Some experts speculate that Atlas may feature reflective panels, solar arrays, or geometrically symmetrical structures similar to artificial materials. The ninth anomaly is perhaps the most striking. Atlas appears hotter than the sun. Its brilliant blue hue indicates it is emitting energy at temperatures exceeding 5,800 Kelvin, which is impossible for a non-stellar object without some unknown advanced technology. Both Atlas and the WOW signal occurred near the constellation Sagittarius, and Atlas's trajectory aligns precisely with the region where the signal was detected. Some SETI researchers propose that Atlas could be related to the source of the WOW signal, or even function as an interstellar relay, transmitting signals in multi-decade cycles. If all these anomalies are verified, 3I Atlas would no longer fit the category of a comet, but could represent the first experimental evidence of interstellar technology, perhaps an autonomous probe launched by an ancient civilization millions of years ago, collecting data on the solar system. All theories remain on the table, and December 19th may reveal definitively whether Atlas is a comet, a remnant of ancient technology, or the first message from an extraterrestrial intelligence. These unprecedented anomalies have made Atlas the focal point of scientific debate, leaving the question open. Is it an unusual comet, a technological artifact, or a man-made object from another civilization? The answer remains unknown. The situation with Atlas remains murky, yet each new piece of data adds to an increasingly compelling and enigmatic picture.